Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day today. It is a beautiful end of spring day. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, the weather is perfect. My flowers are in bloom. It's just been a really lovely day. So we're back with another sewing project for this week's video, and I'm sure if you know by the title and the thumbnail of this video, you will know we are sewing another vintage Laura Ashley dress. I am just loving these patterns so much. I find most modern patterns are just not quite as like feminine and girly for my taste, and it's just been a joy working with these vintage patterns. So let me show you the pattern we're going to be making today. This is Mcalls 4547, and it's this really beautiful empire waist style dress. They have this maxi dress, this shorter like baby doll dress, and you can also make this little bag and this bonnet as well. We are not going to be making the bonnet today, but for this week's video, we're going to be making this shorter version of the dress. And then if I have enough fabric left over, I'm hoping to make a little bag because I think it's really adorable. I don't know if I will though, we will see. But I think the details on this are just so pretty. I love the little drawstrings in the front and of course the puff sleeves. So really excited to be making this. I've actually had this on my wish list for several years now, so really happy to have it. And then the fabric, oh you guys, the fabric. We are going to be making this from vintage Laura Ashley fabric. I know, I'm so excited. So this is the fabric we're going to be using. It's this really pretty, it's got these really pretty purples and lavenders and the greens, and I love the floral like stripe of this dress, but it's not actual stripes, it's just kind of in that pattern. And I think this is just going to look beautiful with this dress pattern. I'm so excited. I have wanted to buy vintage Laura Ashley fabric for several years now, but it's pretty expensive if you get any amount of yardage for it, and it's hard to find ones that I really like as well. So when I saw this on eBay, I was so excited. I had to save my pennies and nickels for it, but definitely worth it. So all of that being said, let's cut this fabric out and then we'll start working on the dress. I'm so excited. Good morning. Made myself a little chai tea latte, and now we can get ready to start working on the dress. I did not get a chance to work on it yesterday, which I figured I wouldn't be able to. The fabric cutting took me almost 3 hours just because I had to individually cut out all of the pieces. So instead of folding the fabric, I had to place the one pattern piece, cut it out, flip it over, cut it out again, because this fabric is striped. And as I learned from my last striped floral project, you cannot cut it when it is folded. So it just took me a really long time, and I was being really meticulous with the cutting because that is all of the fabric that I have. But I was able to cut out enough fabric to make the little drawstring bag, so I'm very excited for that. I will have to run to Joann's at some point because I need a zipper, bias tape, and I need more ribbon for the drawstring bag. But I figured for today we could work on the basics like the skirt and the bodice construction. So I'm very excited. I brought my fresh flowers up here. I do have a couple of fun things in this video that I thought we could do together. Number one, we went on a day trip to IKEA about a week ago with my family, and I picked up one of those little rolling carts, and I'm hoping to use that for my sewing patterns, my fabric, and my little projects I'm working on, to just put it all in that little rolling cart, and then I can roll it into the closet when I'm done using it. But I really don't have a good storage system set up for my sewing stuff. So that is something I thought we could do. And then also I have an exciting package coming in the mail. I found some new bedding for our room on Poshmark, and I am so excited for it to come in. So excited. So I thought we would do that in this video as well. But anyway, all that being said, let's start working on this dress. Was really quite easy. It was just basically sewing straight seams along each of the sides. I am going to use my overlocker to do the edges because these will not be in a seam because the zipper will be in the back. But looking so cute. Oh, this fabric. So I'm pretty sure the most simple part of the sewing is done. I have the skirt done and I have the main construction of the bodice done, but now comes the part that I'm a little worried about. So this dress has a drawstring at the neckline and I have to make a casing for the neckline. So I'm a little nervous to do this, but our next step, what we're going to do is we're going to turn in the neckline about 1/4 inch, and then we're going to make the casing with some of the pieces that I already cut out, and then we'll make the drawstring as well. So I'm just a touch nervous about this. I've been trying to be better at pacing myself with sewing, but I haven't sewn something in a while, so I'm just wanting to get it done all at once, which is probably not very good, but we're gonna try to at least get the casing and the drawstring done, and then maybe I will force myself to call it a day for now. But yeah, let's just get the part that I'm really not looking forward to out of the way. Hello, hello. It is the next day, and as you saw, I took this morning to put together my little IKEA cart, and it's working perfectly. So I will show you how I have that set up, and then I will show you the progress I made on the dress. So here it is in all of her glory. It will not stay out here. I'm going to put it in the closet when I'm done. But just for showing you guys, I figured I would leave it out here. So on the top here, I have my patterns. I have the patterns I have not made yet. I have this nightgown robe of this Laura Ashley, this vintage Laura Ashley reprint. I'm wanting to make this really soon. I really want to make the robe. This pattern I actually have made already, but I bought a new one because my other one got ruined by my cat Churro because he likes to eat the paper. And then I have this dress pattern that I originally was going to make out of a linen fabric, but then I priced the linen fabric and it was a little bit more than I was anticipating, so just waiting to make that one. And then the rest of these patterns, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen, other than one that I'm hoping to make soon, and it is this vintage apron pattern, which I think is just darling. This was my great aunt's, so I'm kind of excited to try that one. And then on the second shelf, I just put all of my extra fabric. I don't have a lot of fabric. I don't like to keep a big overstock just because we don't really have the room for it. But I have a bunch of this beautiful green left over, this green floral. This white Swiss dot was from my first attempt at making my other Laura Ashley dress, and so that's all that's left over of that. I have a little bit left over of the fabric we're using today, this green gingham fabric. I have this little Star Wars fabric for my daughter. She loves Grogu, and I bought this on clearance for her at Joann's. I don't know what I'm going to make for her yet. And this is left over from a fall dress that I made. And then all of these down here, speaking of the fall dress, are things I need to fix or cut up or sew a button on. So this is kind of like my little work pile. So it's working out pretty good. I picked some fresh flowers this morning because I realized yesterday in the clips that my other ones were kind of dead. So I have a little purple hydrangea, some Jane Austen roses, another hydrangea. My white roses are starting to bloom, and then some lavender. So let me get you guys set up and I'll show you the progress we've made on the dress. So let me update you a bit on the dress because there's some things I didn't film and tell you guys as I was making it. But here she is so far. We have the bodice and skirt attached. I did end up attaching the zipper. I didn't film that just because I did it really late last night. And I have the casing and the drawstring attached. So a couple of things. Number one, I decided to omit the drawstring here at the waistline or the underbust line just because I thought it would just be a little bit too much with this fabric. So since I did that, I used the longer pieces that you were going to use for the waistline for the neckline, and I really like the length of the drawstring. But the other thing that I actually ended up doing was I had to take off the entire casing and sew it back on because I had it a little bit too high, and this casing was kind of leaning forward because with the weight of the drawstring it was kind of making it go forward a little bit. So I had to undo all of that and re-sew it, but it is looking like a dress. My zipper turned out fairly well. I still don't do zippers perfectly, but I am still really new to sewing and I'm learning each time I do them. But for today, that means all that's really left to do is add the sleeves and hem the dress, and then it's done, which is great. I'm so excited. So then once the dress is done, we can start working on the little purse, which I'm actually quite excited about. I don't think I've ever made any accessories before. I've maybe made like a scrunchie or something, but never a little bag. So I'm going to quit dilly-dallying and let's get to working on the sleeves. So the sleeves are done on the dress. I don't want to show you guys the dress yet because I'm going to wait till the reveal. Not that you guys don't know what the dress is already going to look like, but it's getting really warm in here. So I think I might just hem the dress later on tonight. But then the next time we work on a sewing part of this project, it will be to work on the little tote handbag, which I think is just going to be so cute with this dress. And then I'm hoping as well that my new bedding comes in tomorrow so we can put that on my bed, get a couple little home projects done while also sewing. But yeah, cannot wait to share with you guys. But for now, I'm going to sign off and I will talk to you guys the next day we work on this project. I'm so excited. So before I get ahead of myself, it is the next day and we are in a different area than I usually film. This is Caleb and I's room and we have Churro, which you can't really see, but he is currently stalking some birds out the window. The windows are open and he loves it when the windows are open. He's literally hid underneath of our blankets. There's his little ears popping up. But an exciting package came in the mail today and I thought I would unbox it with you and put this up. So I have been wanting to get new bedding for Caleb and I's room for ages, but bedding is very expensive and I always try to buy secondhand if I can. I would say probably 80 to 85% of our household is thrifted or secondhand, bought off Poshmark, eBay, Etsy, thrift stores, you name it. Well, this bedding is bedding that I have been wanting for a couple of years and I was so excited that I found it on Poshmark. So it is the Hill House green vine bedding, I believe. I'll show you guys in a moment. And when this first released, I absolutely loved it because I love that print. I actually have a dress in that print. But I wasn't really sure what Caleb was going to think of it, number one, but the bigger reason is that it was just way out of my price range. I try to keep things as cost effective as possible, and that was not a way to do it. This popped up on Poshmark, a king size comforter, which is crazy, the duvet cover, and then 2 Euro shams. So I don't have Euro size pillows, so I won't be able to put those up yet, but I figured we could put the new bedding on. And then when we went to IKEA a couple weeks ago, along with the cart that I bought us 2 new lamps for our bedroom and then some new sheets, because when you're an adult, buying new sheets for your bed feels like such a luxury, and IKEA had a really good price on their sheets. So that is what we're going to do a little secondhand inexpensive makeover to our bed mostly. I'm really excited. I would love to eventually get more things for this room, but if you shop secondhand, if you try to buy things at good prices, it just takes a while to save up these things and find the exact thing that you want for the space. And this room has just taken me a while to kind of figure out what I want to do, but let's stop chattering on. We'll unbox this, put all the bedding on, and then we can work on the little bag. And then once that's done, you guys, it will be the reveal. But let's rip into these packages first because I cannot wait. So here is my piece for the drawstring bag. Now I am having to veer off the beaten path just a bit here because how this is constructed is we will have 2 casings with ribbon along here. We're going to do the side seams, add the bottom, but then you thread ribbon through both of these casings to make bows at each side. Well, here is the problem. I could not find 1/2 inch ribbon, so I have 3/8 inches, or I have 7/8 inches. So this I think is going to be just too skinny by the time I sew a seam along this edge and this edge. I don't think I'm going to be able to thread this size of ribbon through that casing. So what I'm thinking of doing is taking this thicker ribbon for the casing, using that as the casing for this ribbon, and then using this for the rest of it. So hopefully it doesn't look too strange since this is going to be quite a bit thicker, but it is the same color, so fingers crossed that it will look okay. So we have my tube of fabric, and now we're just going to attach the bottom to the bag. Looks like we'll just match up this little notch, and then I will gather up my gathering threads to match the size of this little circle. So here's the bag so far. I've never sewn a circle onto flat fabric, but I think it worked okay. Now we are just going to work on the hem at the top, and then we will add the lace trim, and then after that we just have to add a couple of ribbons and she is done. Pretty exciting. So there she is all done, and I love this dress so much for so many reasons. 1, I really love this pattern. 2, I love this fabric. And 3, this dress is the first one I've really seen my skills as a sewist kind of all come together. I've only been sewing for about 2 years, and if you sew at all, you'll know that sewing is a journey. You kind of learn from each project, and I just feel like I was able to put a lot of my minimal knowledge to the test while making this, and came up with something that is just stunning, and I just love it so much. I'm super happy. I added the lace to the sleeves. Still happy with my decision to omit the other tie here at the underbust. The only thing that I changed about this, other than omitting that one tie, is I actually shortened the dress by about 2.5 inches. I just like that length a little bit better for me. But yeah, other than that, overall, I love working with this pattern. No complaints whatsoever. I feel like I should be in a Jane Austen novel, and that is always what I'm going for when I am sewing. But the one thing that really surprised me was this little clutch bag. She is adorable. I love her so much. So pretty. My bigger ribbon worked just fine, and this is actually a lot bigger than I was anticipating. Like, you could fit your phone, a wallet, and a couple of other things in here, and I'm just so pleased with how it turned out. Rose now wants one as well. When she saw that I had this, she wanted me to make one too. But you could wear it as a purse like I showed you, or you could just hold it like a little clutch bag. So I just think it's really sweet and darling. But that being said, I'm going to end the video here. If you guys did enjoy this video, please let me know in a comment down below. I always love reading them, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Mwah.